Hello, everyone, and welcome to my birthday pick for the year. But before we get to the movie, we're starting with a short called Bow. And I think Pedro wanted to give some trivia on that. So go ahead.
Basically, today we're basically doing the entirety of Damishi's filmography because as a director and writer, she only has 2 credits: this short and the movie. So before that, she was a story artist on various Pixar movies. And before even that, she was an animator on Wonder Over Yonder.
You know, it's gonna be funny if this somehow ages badly and it turns out right before this gets made public, they announce a new film with her as the lead.
Well, that wouldn't be a bad thing.
I'm
be
counting
like,
on
snap, she got more work.
No, that's definitely going to happen. After this movie's release, Pete Docter made her part of the senior creative team at Pixar.
Because she's been around long enough there on the company?
She's been at Pixar since 2015 at this point.
Around.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. That actually is a thing that you just reminded me of, Jova. Because she's the first female director at Pixar to make a full-blown Pixar movie. Because the person who in charge of creative, as you guys probably know, probably didn't let her do it. But one of Pete Docter's first things when he became the creative head at Pixar was, Enrico, you're doing a movie. And he also turned to Damishi, and for those who don't know, Enrico Casarosa is the director of Luca. Dami, you're making a movie too. So...
All right, then, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah, basically, thanks to Pete Docter, we finally have a female director making a movie at Pixar.
I guess finally, you know, an idea came about that suited it.
Well, that's the thing. As Pete Docter constantly says, he wants the new directors to tell personal stories. And both this short and the movie are inspired by Dami's relationship with her mother. And that will become apparent when we're watching them.
All right, so where should we start?
Start from just before the Disney logo, just a black screen. In 3, 2, 1, click.
All right. I never seen these nor Turning Red actually, so I'm basically getting the.
You're in for a treat.
You're in for a treat too.
I have.
Jova's also in the same boat, I think, for Turning Red at least.
I saw it around the. around the time it released.
I have seen the short, but no, I've not seen Turning Red yet.
Wait, if this came out in 2018, then this came out when The Incredibles 2 did. Right?
I saw Turning Red around the same time around the time it came out. I saw it with Pedro.
One of the big things that I really appreciate about Pete Docter is how he's actually allowing a lot of these filmmakers who made great Pixar shorts to actually make movies. Because ever since I saw La Luna, the director of Lucas' short from back in 2012, when I went to see Brave, and that was by far the best thing about going to see Brave in cinema. But
this was probably the best thing about seeing the Incredibles 2 movie.
And yep. And here's the first. When I first saw Bao and La Luna, my immediate reaction was, "Why aren't we getting these directors to make movies?"
Jesus, what? What the fuck? I would just leave this one. What fools were people?
I mean, Sausage Party tried that and it was terrible.
This is that's the saddest thing. This film's only 7 minutes long and it's better than Sausage Party.
Was it really that bad?
It was pretty awful.
Like it was weird, but I want to save it.
Let me put it this: your mileage may vary. Some people like it, some people don't like it. I'm pretty much fine with it, but I'm not going to consider it like some high art. Which, to be fair, I don't think it's set out to be.
So
there you go. Maintain your sustenance with the components of a dumpling.
Your brain is made out of food.
So yeah,
literally.
So basically, this is kind of like a fairy tale type story where the dumpling came to life, basically.
Yeah, it's very old school on that regard.
Oh my god!
Oh no!
It's all right. Don't worry. He lives.
Basically, you also notice the setting of the short. The Damishi is Chinese Canadian. and so she grew up in a Chinese neighborhood in Canada. Specific. That's actually where Turning Red and this short take place.
It's always interesting to see a director choosing, the place where they lived as a sort of a passion thing. I remember that was one core at the creation of Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Damn, she's an amazing tackler.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I first heard that Enrico Casarosa and Damishi were making Pixar movies finally, my immediate reaction was, wow, I'm super excited because I've been saying for years that they should get these two to make Pixar movies.
They grow up so fast. Little.
Mom!
This is private, Mom.
Who is he calling?
Who did the music for these, by the way?
I don't know. We're going to get the credits in a bit, so we can see it then.
I can spell bow.
Sorry, you can't coax him with food anymore.
He got friends. Damn.
And then his friends ate him or something.
Oh, God.
Toby Chu. That's the name of the composer.
Oh.
He brought a girlfriend home.
Oh,
no.
A fiance.
Not a girlfriend, a fiance.
Okay. Okay, if you two ever decide to consummate your marriage, don't eat him out in that way.
Dwibs, I'm proud of you.
Wow, we're just ready to go. Bye.
All this happened in a day.
No. Well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's implied that it took a
I know, but it just feels like.
And the only reason why her husband is not seeing it is because he's busy with work all day.
Okay, now this is getting really uncomfortable.
Oh, don't worry. It gets worse.
Yeah.
Empty nest syndrome. You'll still see your son.
In your poop.
Fuck.
There you go, Ted. Now you will never be able to look at a dumpling the same way ever again.
Honestly, I can still eat shrimp dumplings just fine.
Well,
I really like dumplings.
Well, Shiroi, she will see him again next time she takes a shit.
Can you even imagine if it ended abruptly that way?
And she'll say, I told you have to stay here forever, you little shit.
However, here's the twist.
What? What? Oh, he became a real boy.
No.
She was coping the whole time.
Basically,
the whole time.
Basically,
the whole dumpling thing was
the whole dumpling thing was essentially a hallucination.
Yeah, for when I first saw this for a second, I thought the twist was, wait, I had a son this whole time?
Or maybe it's like, or maybe a nightmare.
The empty nest syndrome really got to her.
It's implied,
what's the nightmare? Her having a son?
It's implied that apparently they broke relations for a while now, but they're
from what I
get the idea. Maybe the stuff that happened with the dumpling is actually what happened.
From what I understand, in Chinese heritage, it's a lot more traditional for the child to stay with the parents until they absolutely have to leave the home and whatnot, which makes sometimes splitting a bit more tougher.
Yeah, it really varies from culture to culture.
Yeah.
Excuse me for a moment. I gotta do something.
Oh, well, you will learn.
There you go. And look at that. Even the wife is learning how to make dumplings.
And did you notice that she had a different design in the flashback in her dream?
Mother projecting, I guess.
Yes.
Oh,
and there it is.
That's weird.
John Lasseter, no, get that name away. Oh my god.
We didn't see it.
I mean, honestly, at this rate, his side of his name isn't going to send me into conniptions or anything.
He can't hurt you anymore. Just let it be, Dwibs.
All right, this was actually really nice, admittedly.
Yep. It is one of my favorite Disney shorts.
It's a good one.
My personal favorite is La Luna still, but yeah, this is definitely one up there as well.
But enough of that. How about we go to the main event?
Java, it's supposed to be the main course.
No, Dej, we're not dealing with food anymore.
Yeah, Dej, unless we had to eat a red panda, no thanks.
Jesus,
now,
Dej.
No. Hey, Tio said that.
All right, now, unlike a lot of other Pixar films, I don't think we're really going to be talking about this film's box office because it barely had a box office release.
Wait, hold on. Didn't this movie not even get released to theaters?
I'm pretty sure this movie went straight to Disney Plus.
Well, okay, actually, I looked it up earlier. Its box office release was extremely limited.
Oh, yeah, apparently it does have a box office.
It was still at the cusp of another outbreak of
Omicron, specifically.
Okay, I will say, but Dribs does have a point, though. There is a box office. But that being said, no, this did not get a proper theatrical release. I will say this, though. I feel like this Pixar movie was much more deserving of a proper theatrical release than the movie that Disney actually chose for Pixar to put out to theaters. But that's another story.
All right. So after you've passed the Disney original logo, you should be able to start from the beginning of the movie because it's its own thing. So get ready in 3, 2, 1, click.
This movie, Teo, is unlike a lot of movies who are nostalgic throwbacks to the 80s or 90s. This movie is a nostalgic throwback to the early 2000s because that's what the
panders to me.
Yeah.
Oh, this movie very much is a call out to me, and
I. More challenging because I tended to not particularly care about that era, even in terms of some animated stuff. So we'll have to see how this goes.
Yeah, specifically, it takes place during 2002.
Yeah.
2002. That was when the second Ace Attorney game came out.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll just say it right now. In terms of pop culture here in the UK, 2002 is not one of my favorite years, but let's see how this film portrays it.
Wait, hold on, but we're not in the UK. We're in Canada.
We're in Canada, Dwebs.
Canada's part of the British Commonwealth. It
counts. But they did not share the
French.
same trends that the UK did. It's a combination of British and French.
Mm-hmm.
That's not much to ask.
Yes.
I really loved. Okay,
the music is pretty.
I might as well say this now.
Great from what I've heard.
This art style is really great.
Yeah,
and I see a lot of people's like Pixar movies are too samey now in terms of art style. It's like, look at this.
It's inspired by anime, clearly.
Well, I will say we were talking. I was actually mentioning Ferris Bueller's Day Off. This kind of intro is also reminding me of that.
Very clearly. Basically, to remember, Damishi was born in 1989, so she's only 2 years younger than me, meaning she's from my generation. So,
well, I haven't seen the movie yet. I have heard bits from the soundtrack, and they do sound pretty good.
Oh, the soundtrack! They actually went out of their way to create a fictional teenage boy band. You know, the ones we saw in the early 2000s, and we have songs from them.
I think they actually got.
My fault. Well, Taylor, that was a thing.
Wait, hold on. Twilight was more a thing around the later 2000s, though.
Oh, trust me, Jova. Like, Twilight was not the first teenage novel involving vampires and shit.
I think the book. Oh,
the book.
Also, I'm like checking some information. For some reason, but I don't really understand. The movie My Country is just called Red, and not the translated word for red. The English term, just red.
I just forgot what my version is called.
Let's
see what my country called it.
Dark.
Oh, you'll like this, Shiroi. My dog's name is Weirdly Red.
Huh.
I just looked it up. The first Twilight book came out in
2005. Well, whatever. Pastiche.
I mean, they technically should be Harry Potter because our Lord of the Rings.
One of the things that I really love about the movie, and she already knows what I'm about to bring up, is
we're about to see it.
This movie's not afraid to show that yes, young girls can also be horny. Because one of my pet peeves with media is that is when they try to portray the boys are always the horny ones and the girls don't care about that shit.
I feel like nowadays, thankfully, that's a lot more common in media these days.
Oh.
And yes, a boy band.
Fort Town.
No.
So this film made by an American animation company, set in Canada, directed by a Chinese Canadian, has its music done by a Swedish guy, Ludwig Göransson.
You know, if you apply the logic of Gravity Falls, these people have been growing tubes.
I mean, yeah.
Well, what if I don't want to?
They even have
that's a
Tamagotchi because early 2000s, yes.
If there's one thing also that Canada has a history of is trying to copy anime with its animation. Sometimes being fine, other times not so much, but it's something ingrained in their... They tend to be weeaboos themselves, so I can understand.
One of the things that I also really like is how, again, you can tell this is literally the director's personality, like unfiltered in the movie. Like she's literally projecting how she was as a child in this movie.
Look, it's Mario, Luigi, Wario, and Waluigi.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he's not wrong.
Oh, hold on. A 4-ton burned CD. Yeah, guys, remember when we used to burn MP3s on a blank CD?
Not even MP3. Usually they had different, even shittier formats.
WMA?
Yeah, stuff
or
like that.
FLAC.
I think FLAC was later. I don't think FLAC was around yet in the early 2000s, if I remember correctly.
This was 2002, but my personal favorite was DVX copies of movies, and I did got a cinema ripped of The Two Towers with the people laughing.
Okay, Pedro. Okay, Pedro. No, FLAC's initial release was July 2001.
Oh, okay then. I wasn't at all aware of it back then, I will admit.
I definitely remember it from that time.
What I said earlier, everyone was making a joke.
Yes,
everyone.
Foreshadowing.
Yes, believe so.
I don't know, guys. So far, I'm having a really hard time relating to this movie.
I mean, you don't have to. Like,
yeah,
no, he's making fun of the discourse when the movie released.
People tend to meme a lot. It's not even for just this movie.
People
tend to meme a lot the fact that you have to relate absolutely to movies and their protagonists. No.
Okay, for those who don't know, around the time the film was being advertised, for some reason, some people online were saying that, oh no, we can't relate to this character because she's Chinese Canadian or something like that.
The mom is played by Sandra Oh. Yes, from the Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy, Killing Eve.
Looks like a step up for her career.
I was gonna say Killing Eve. I just couldn't remember the name exactly.
I can tell you that Sandra Oh is a good actress. It's just that Grey's Anatomy is terrible.
Yeah, exactly what he said.
I mean, she's been in plenty of other stuff since Grey's Anatomy. Even
I guess by proxy, this means she never left that much of Disney.
I mean, let's see. She's been in Judging Amy, American Crime, American Dad, American Dragon, Jake Long, The Proud Family, Phineas and Ferb, Chop Sock
American stuff.
She's been in a lot of things with the word American in the title.
If I remember correctly,
she was also in Milan too.
Well, she herself is also Asian American. So.
Well, she was born in Canada.
Yeah,
extreme cleaning montage action.
Okay. She's actually Canadian American. She's of Asian descent, but her nationality is Canadian American.
Sure.
Oh, she was also in The Land Before Time 13.
Yeah, they're Americans. They're Canadians. They say hoser.
Again,
that box looks awkward to like be in.
Yes, don't.
I can for that I can partially relate because one particular sport that kids of my generation at least tended to do was using Christmas sweet boxes to construct helms and armors.
Yes.
Can you tell this was inspired by anime?
Not just that, Shiroi. Not Shiroi. Hey, Shiroi, here's best character.
Him?
Me and Shiroi,
the dad coping with everything.
Me and Shiroi are huge fans of this character, and you'll see why.
Yeah. Anyway, as I was saying,
God.
As I was saying, as much as I don't really agree with complaints or with either Pixar or DreamWorks that their art style was getting samey, I really like this kind of art style that we're going for. I mean, it's different.
It fits the tone and personality of the movie.
Yeah. Two of them are from one town. There's your answer. Is this basically the copyright friendly equivalent of NSYNC?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess so.
Kinda, yeah.
Also, I think on the soundtrack they do have a song made specifically by a Japanese boy band. I'll have to look it up.
Well, you're subconsciously telling otherwise.
I'll just wait for it.
Oh, you have no idea.
I call him Fine Man.
Uh-oh.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
Do you need to be alone with your notebook, honey?
I get the idea she has to think about it first.
Okay, how did Ludwig do that with the guitar?
It is possible.
That face. Somebody would recreate the scene with Susie and Noelle, by the way.
Of course we did.
Teenage hormones be like.
Yeah.
Why are you even looking at her notebook anyway?
She's curious about her homework.
She even made her own Liefeld-esque.
To be fair, that's not her. Yeah, to be fair, that's not her diary. It's her homework notebook. To be fair, so it's not something that would be supposedly private. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh.
Like I said, according to Namishi, the main inspiration for the story is her relationship with her mother. So yeah, it does paint that, and based on the bow short as well, it seems like her mother was very overprotective apparently.
It seems like she has the same thing with Lord and Miller. While her shorts are about mommy issues, while her movies are about mommy issues, Lord and Mills are about daddy issues. There's a lot of things I can say.
You know, this is some. Oh God, this is something that should be.
Okay, confirm here, everybody. Mei Ling is into merman.
According to Gravity Falls, it seems to be a common.
She's a scaly.
You know, this feels like something that should happen in the 2/3 mark.
She calls us degenerate in a Disney movie.
Well, they also said drugs too.
I know.
Can you tell she's Canadian with that T-shirt?
Hey.
She's played by Rosalie Chiang, who's an American actress, apparently. But based on her name, she's probably also of Asian descent.
And she's also going to be in Suzume.
Oh, she's of... her mother was Taiwanese, while her father is Singaporean. Huh. Interesting.
Although apparently a week after Turning Red came out, Sandra Oh once again played a character who's just like the one she plays in this movie, except Uma, that's the other film. Apparently Uma's a horror movie.
So yeah.
So is she like Maya Rudolph, or she's just playing the same character in it now?
I mean, she's good at it.
Whoa. Oh no, it's Draco with 99 Dragons again.
I don't know what that is.
Horrible video.
Oh wow, I'm surprised.
Oh Jesus.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the inside of Mei Ling's mind.
Flowers. And...
What the fuck?
As you can see, Dami, she loves to put a lot of nightmare fuel in her stories.
Literally, in this case. I think someone needs therapy.
That and a good long chat with her mother, cause yeah, overbearing much.
The scene from the trailer.
Oh boy.
This is no dream. The what?
Period.
Yeah, the dad just like, nope, nope.
Not my business.
Sorry, honey, but this is your. But this is like this is your camp. I'm out of this. That's what I would do if I was in a situation. No fucking way am I talking to my daughter about that shit. You do it, Vanessa. I wonder what this is a metaphor for. Do you really mean that many of different types?
Well, again,
yes.
Pedro, I shook it.
Not my line.
each person is a separate case, so we need to figure out what's best for them.
I suppose
you stock up like you're going in the trenches.
I suppose there's a different one for a different kind of situation.
Jesus. Oh.
Somehow I'm not sure about that, Maylene.
The animation budget is decreasing.
Do you know how much money we have to spend on the individual furs?
That's right. Relax. Just chill out. There you go.
No. Oh.
Okay, is this going to be... I hope this doesn't turn out to be like that scene in Hulk 2008, where...
Remember, Dweb, she's doing the Hayao Miyazaki thing. Remember how Hayao Miyazaki explains how Sophie's curse works in the House Moving Castle?
Yeah, I was gonna say, at least it's not like in Hulk 2008, where the more excited Bruce gets the... Yeah, I'm not going there.
Basically, the point was that it was any bout of stress.
Yes, I have.
Why you act like you haven't?
Yes, this time is already awkward enough, Mother.
At least she's not like Miles Morales, father asking to...
Yeah, shouting about it out the window.
Yeah.
I do, that's my good. That's my help. It's funny.
Beep boop.
Disney movie.
Oh.
Yeah, this is gonna be. This is how it's gonna be, Maylin, from this point on. Get used to it.
Okay, that reminded me of that scene from Puss in Boots 2.
Also, yes, early 2000s, the rising of the emo culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of weird how that type of guys disappeared, huh?
Becoming a furry is wild.
And clearly portrayed as a bad thing.
Yes, Shira. So how's that like?
It's fun.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Quadratic formula, that's boring enough that you won't turn into a big panda.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you at the end of the movie, Dutch.
Is that,
I'm trying to pay attention.
Is that, oh god. What's that actor's name?
Okay, this is getting really concerning now.
Yeah.
Again, I have to wonder, did Donnie's mom do this kind of thing? Because, like I said, remember, she said that this is inspired by her relationship with her mother.
I have to wonder.
Maybe this is a Psychonauts-esque situation. I don't know.
Your mom's a Karen.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That kind of went without saying.
I can only imagine how that meeting went down. Pete Doctor's like, hey, hold on, I'll wait till after this scene.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, crap.
So, you know what she should have done? She should have just gone to school, go to like the office, and try calling the teacher to say, hey, look, I maybe... This is the dumbest thing a parent can do.
Amazingly, nobody else saw that.
Well, trespassing, yeah.
I love the way this scene is directed too. Oh.
Hi. Yeah, shut up.
Get back in your box.
But yeah, I have to imagine how that meeting went down. Pete Doctor's like, hey, Dami, tell a personal story. I want you to tell a personal story. And he's like, oh, can I tell a story about how my mom used to embarrass me at school?
My mom was crazy.
And how my mom was crazy. And Pete's like, sure, I guess.
Oh, I got a big butt. God, puberty sucks.
That's what I really like about both this. That's what I like about. Oh, hold on. Here's my favorite bit. Okay, can we take a moment to appreciate?
Hey, calm down.
Can we not take a moment to appreciate that we now have a Disney movie where a teenage girl looks at a teenage boy, bangs her foot, and goes "Ahuga"?
That's certainly a thing.
But that's what I really love about both this and Luca. Like, those movies feel distinctly like the distinct voice of the director who made them.
Wow, at least she took off her heels.
Probably because she doesn't want to break them.
Behold the dramatic origin story of a new superhero. The
you
Red
say
Panda.
that, Dej, but this is kind of similar to Hulk 2003, where he's jumping the canyon.
A flying panda.
Amazing. Oh.
Ow.
Oh,
Ow.
Like the solar plexus.
It's been a day.
Yeah.
whoever came up with this curse is a dick.
Well, we're about to explain that to us.
Still a dick.
Oh, hold on. Excuse me?
What?
Yeah, honey,
Yeah.
honey, we have to tell her. Come on.
As you know.
So why are you telling me then?
There you go, Theo.
You see, your great ancestor was a furry.
Yeah, there you go, Theo. The world's first furry.
After
What
Zeus,
a terrible
anyway.
curse.
Thank you for your services.
I know that the gods tend to have a sense of humor, but this is ridiculous. I'm gonna stick to the colored lantern rings, thank you.
Oh, so you'd be a
except for the
red
Red
lantern.
one. That's dangerous.
No, I told you, Joe. I prefer orange.
Avarice.
Oh, which one is that?
I literally just
please,
said avarice.
a curse, of course.
An inconvenience.
Sure. You want to talk it that way.
Oh, really? Yeah, I agree. I agree. That sounds horrific. Into the doctor's fob watch.
I mean, might as well.
That just doesn't sound like a proper cure. That just sounds like you're bottling up stuff unhealthily.
Oh, it's
I wonder where this could lead.
Yeah, I wonder what this could lead then, Jova, considering your guess just now.
It's not a curse, he said. Also, you only have one chance to banish it. Like, Jesus, woman.
Sealing something up to be free.
I'm sure Jean Grey would sympathize.
So yeah, new mattress, I think.
Hey, on the plus side, you got an awesome new hairdo. So,
oh my God. Yeah, out of context. Yeah, out of context, you could take this to be like they're just going to trap her in that room for a whole month, and I'm like, what? I'll be like, what the fuck?
So, what do we tell the school about?
She's sick, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
This type of scenario in other series and movies.
It's not. It's the color of death.
So there you go, Jova.
Dwibs,
All about
it's also a warm color.
Dwibs.
So there you go. Sorry.
Dwibs, your country were the redcoats. I'm surprised at you.
Ooh, yeah. Lots of fur, Jesus.
It's like having a cat.
Hey! Oh my god, it's funny you mentioned that. When Pedro initially saw this, he thought Shiroi would like it because he thought that May actually turned into a red cat initially.
Well, that's because I wasn't aware of the whole red panda thing in China.
Well, the thing that curious me the most is that red pandas are normally very small. In fact, some people don't even understand how they can compare to normal pandas because of the size difference, even though they actually have, genetically similar traits.
I'm guessing Dami thought it would be a lot more fun if the pandas were bigger.
Man, this movie adaptation of Super Mario 3D Land is weird.
So basically, this poor girl has to deal with this curse because one of her ancestors is a furry.
Yes.
Well, again, I can kind of see what the thought process is. The fact that back when this has happened, they genuinely believe that they were doing the right thing, and they believed that continuing on, it would have not be much of an inconvenience or a curse, as the characters portrayed it. What I guess is that they did not take into account it was how society would have evolved around them.
Yeah, I can also agree with that.
This is not too dissimilar to, again, this is a bit of a weird comparison, but it's not too dissimilar to what probably Legend of Korra was trying to go for, the idea that how does something as basic as the concept of the Avatar would fare in a modern society. Here. Oh, sorry.
She said that the yellow one said that she wants to always have a tail.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Aside from the relationship with
did
the
you
mom,
have bad experience with a tail one, Stitch?
What? No, it's like, oh, she's a furry. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, Pedro.
She reads vampire and werewolf books. Of course she's.
So yeah, this means that she can go to the Four Town concert, obviously.
Damn. I'm sure that will not be important.
Aside from the relationship with the mom, of course, one of the other big sources of the heart of this movie is, of course, the friendship that she has with these three. And again, the characters are portrayed exactly like you'd expect teenage girls of this age to behave like. By the way, Theo, this song is an actual proper song that's in the soundtrack, sung by the fictional band. So.
I mean, might as well. You know, it's supposed to be in universe, so they are a fan of them. So why?
Yeah, the NSYNC / Backstreet Boys.
It's performed in the credits.
You literally did ask for it.
Well, you said.
She pointed at the arrow.
I mean, Abby just seems like the type who would choose violence.
So yeah, their friendship is what's keeping the panda away.
I wonder if there's something more to it. Most kids are, honey. Eventually that bomb just explodes. Like, that bomb especially exploded back in 1994 when Lion King came out.
Yeah. In fact, just wait 13 years until Inside Out comes out.
What?
Remember 2002, Joe, but this movie takes place in 2002.
No. I mean, but what's particularly furry about Inside Out?
I was talking about characters being time bombs.
Oh. Okay. So now we have to convince Mom and Dad that we can control the panda. So they're making a test. Let's see.
Oh no! Oh no! It's this part.
It's okay, Shiroi. She just has to go to our happy
She's
place.
strong. She's stronger than me. I can tell you that much. You'll see what I mean by that in a moment.
Huh. Okay. Shall I bring the ultimate test? Okay.
Yes.
Let's do so. All right. The final challenge.
A box.
Yes. A box.
But what is in the box?
Another box.
So apparently her getting excited can set off the transformation like Bruce in the Hulk 2008.
We never see these cats for the rest of the movie, by the way.
Anything that involves heightened emotion. Whatever the emotion is.
So yeah, just like Hulk in 2008. Sorry, Dwibs. Yeah. But hey, it looks like it's all fine.
Yeah, see, she's stronger than me.
With the power of friendship.
Yeesh.
Oh, which is not... Yeah, which is you.
Alright, I love this bit here. Pay attention to the board. And, yeah. Look at that.
Poor town, why of us...
Right. How does Mozart and Beethoven relate to why you have to go to the concert, May?
Well,
it's the progression of music throughout history.
Not only that, but the progression of a young boy artist. Let's not forget, Mozart was pretty much the equivalent to the teenage boy rocker back in the day.
And if it wasn't for music like that, we wouldn't have music like this.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Also, I checked the specific Japanese boy band they got for the soundtrack is Da Ice.
I like this bit from Sandra Ho here. Okay, I can agree with her there.
Hold on.
I can agree with her there on that point, actually.
Celine Dion was still a big thing around that time.
Oh. Sounds like someone is projecting.
Well, Celine Dion's also Canadian. So
yeah.
Huh. Well, I guess this is not one of those absolutely blind areas.
You can't handle it.
Dodgeball. I have yet to understand what's the appeal of this game. Let's hurt ourselves physically. That sounds like fun.
No. It's not just throwing the ball at somebody. You also have to dodge and come up with creative ways of throwing the ball. You can't just.
Have you ever played it?
You can't just lob it.
Yes, I have, and it hurts.
You can't just lob it.
That's not you problem. Personally, if I were to get hit by a dodgeball,
hold on, Dad. Yes, dude.
You can't just chuck it at them and expect to hit it. Yeah, you gotta fake them out and stuff like that.
Oh boy.
Jesus.
Yeah, technically that goes against the rules and how that's supposed to go.
Also, like how Abby was like, her parents called it stripper music.
Yeah.
This is a Disney movie.
Okay, yeah, Abby, May turn into the furry, but Abby is the wild animal of the group.
Mm-hmm.
Abby's my favorite.
Oh, again, May is into mermen.
Look, she just wants to get wet, okay?
Classy, Dad.
Well, it's interesting you say that, Dej, because during that bit where she was under the bed, when I was watching this movie for the first time with my wife, she even made that joke, like, it's not just her forehead that's wet. Everybody loves the red panda.
So we're basically going to whore ourselves out for money.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
people love furries.
Yeah,
the good thing, apparently the Canadian government probably doesn't care about militarizing these.
Well, Well, Tio, in terms of anything in 2002 in Canadian cities, he also apparently didn't care when Americans came to Vancouver and started shooting up things.
Well, no, sorry, go on.
The goal is $800, and they're gonna lie and say that they're gonna be at each other's houses.
Please, what I was saying is that like, I'm surprised that if this gets too famous, I'm surprised if the Canadian government doesn't want to use this for military purposes.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Joke, yeah.
Phone.
Funny.
Hey, you want to see a red panda, kids? All right. Now pay up.
Do you want to hug the panda too, Shiroi? I'll take that your silence as a yes.
You know, actually, come to think of it,
oh, sorry, I thought I responded. I said, yeah, it's probably Fluffy.
You know, honestly, now that I think about it, girl, you could legit become a superhero with those powers.
Someone somewhere has made a life-size cosplay of that.
Well, it's funny, Joe, when you mentioned that. If you actually don't know, the Marvel team of Canadian superheroes, Alpha Flight, includes a character called Sasquatch who does that.
I know about Sasquatch.
Wait. No Tylers? What about any other boys in the school that are perfectly nice guys and are also called Tyler? Come on.
Oh, dear.
That's why they said no Tylers.
Okay, to be fair, they did specifically have a drawing of that Tyler.
I guess.
Just studying in here.
Ma'am, do I have to kick you? Oh, please.
What's with this movie and people stealing food constantly?
Look.
Oh my god, they made it rain.
Is turning red also code for stealing? Oh.
No! What the heck? With this money, we'll be able to buy a better one.
Yeah, but first you got to get tickets to that concert. Anyway, you were saying, Deji?
I was gonna say, food is delicious. If it's there, might as well beat it.
Where's the beat it for a second?
Oh, it's the song from Wildar Yankovic.
Oh yeah. When they were developing the movie, the crew came up with a lot of pun developmental names. Like some called it Notorious RPG, some called it My Neighbor Toronto, some called it.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, some called it Red and Redder. Like as in Dumb and Dumber.
Notorious RPG.
Yeah, as in Notorious B.I.G.
Hey, look, maybe.
I think someone somewhere has accidentally misspelled My Neighbor Totoro as My Neighbor Toronto at some point in their lives and just decided to own it and make it a joke name for the movie.
I'm pretending I haven't heard that.
Oh, god damn it, blackmail.
You know, Stephen King is looking for someone like you for his next book.
Yep.
Why do you have her number?
This kid's...
Okay, I will make it pass because, protagonist is still, relatively young, but, Giant Panda just crumbled the phone in your paw.
This kid's gonna grow up to be one of the most evil Canadian prime ministers of all time.
Oh no, he's gonna do blackface?
Yeah, that's a thing.
I'm sure nothing will go wrong here.
You could get together some DVDs or something you don't use anymore and sell them at the Canadian equivalent of Kex and make your rest of your money that way.
From what I heard, waves due to inflation in different currency, Canadian things in Canada are a bit more expensive than in the United States.
Counter argument. Free healthcare.
So essentially, this is Bao, but extended into a whole movie because it's got a lot of the similar story beats too. Wow.
You're talking as if we're actually married or something.
Like, the dad did nothing wrong in this movie.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. But that's the weird thing about this movie. The dad gets clowned on, and I don't know why.
No. I disagree with it. Like, just wait till because the dad is gonna get.
It's also a comedy
moments.
trope with usually the handpicked husband.
Not to mention, even though she doesn't show it, the mom really loves the dad, and we're going to get a specific scene that talks about that.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
The aunts are here.
Oh, what?
Well, specifically the grandma and the aunts, yes.
Yeah, early 2000s, someone watched Charlie's Angels.
Yep.
Who is this Yakuza character? Kuze?
Kuze! How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Hey, that's an interesting scar. Where'd you get that from?
You ever seen Scarface?
We're actually going to learn where.
Oh boy.
You know where I got this scar? My father was a panda. A red panda.
And yeah, this being 2002, I get the idea that not that much ways to contact her.
The grandma is played by Wai Ching Ho, who was previously in the Netflix MCU shows Daredevil, Iron Fist, and The Defenders as Madame Gao.
Oh no. Why do I have a bad feeling about the kitten box?
Oh my god, for a second I thought one was going to say, I'll stay in the room with you.
Yeah, I think Grandma ain't buying this shit. There we go.
It's her hair.
Is that such a terrible thing if you have control over it, though?
I get the idea what she's saying is that the more it goes on, the less you will be able to have control over it.
Even though, ironically, the more she's been doing it in the movie, the more she seems to have had fine control about it, so...
It seems to be, Jova, that the family so far has never really tried alternate methods.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Oh dear.
Mortality.
That's one way.
How is that mortality?
Yeah, moving around and going.
We're all just worms on the string of life.
I still like to actually find someone who can combine the stuff like Pictionary with Cards Against Humanity.
I don't know how she thought this was going to work out.
If you're imaginative enough, then yes. This to friends like these now, aren't they? Basically, Friends Like These was a popular around the time a British game show where at the end there's two groups of friends face each other in challenges, and at the end of it, they have one-on-one questions, and if you get it right, a friend gets to go on a holiday, and if you get it wrong, a friend has to stay behind. And then at the end, there's this gamble where if you get it right, everyone goes, but if you get it wrong, no one goes on the holidays. Similar to that, except for a giant red panda. Oh god, this song was on the radio all the bloody time around this point.
Yep.
I think even long after this point, even. Was it Destiny's Child?
Ah, good old Beyonce.
Rare times where Pixar uses licensed music in their movies.
Well, in this case, it makes sense. It helps set the time period.
Luca also does something similar to that.
Nice to see you too, Mother.
Bye.
What a great family.
They need Dominic Toretto to set them straight.
Hey, that's the DreamWorks one, a bit fatter.
Oh dear.
You forgot to close the window. Amateur.
And here we go.
You let that out in the open. Amateur. A B plus?
A furry!
That moment when you discover your daughter is a furry.
Or that she's embraced it. Oh, you are so dead.
Meth.
I see no way that anything could go wrong from this point.
Absolutely. So we're the 2/3 mark.
Oh, hold on.
God damn it.
That's in the US. Different country.
What the heck is Toledo? Uh-oh.
Well, Toledo is also a city in Spain.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay,
boy.
he needs to die now.
Tio, he's just a
Teo.
kid.
He's a bully.
Jesus Christ.
Like you said, Stephen King parallel.
I mean, granted, Stephen
Okay,
King
I've never read or seen a Stephen King movie, so I don't get it.
Okay, Stephen
Most
King
of the
bullies.
tend to
Hold...
get their comeuppance usually by being either killed or traumatized by the actual villains of the stories.
That being said, I don't think this boy is to the level of lethal that Stephen King bullies tend to be in. Oh.
I do like this bit
timing,
here.
yeah.
I do like this bit here where, yes, Tyler is a jerk, but that doesn't give Maylene the right to, hurt him.
And I think he has scars.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess it's time for the Marvel Citizens part of the movie.
Yeah, it's kind of like the scene in X-Men 2 drama.
To be
with
fair,
Stryker. You're an
to be fair, I understand Tyler's parents' perspective from what they can see. Her daughter hurt their son, so obviously they're mad about it.
Defenseless.
Well, he was
Well, yeah,
defenseless.
no, he was
he was
defenseless.
mouthing off, but how is he supposed to defend himself against that?
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of brought it on himself.
Again, like, no, I'm sorry. She's the one with the power and the responsibility. Like, I could get humiliating him maybe, but outright attacking him? Yeah,
definitely.
no.
Another bit that I really like about the mom is that, okay, she's misguided, as we've seen various times throughout the movie. But one thing that I do like is that she absolutely
He actually cares about her daughter.
She refuses the notion that her daughter is the one doing bad things. That there has to be someone else doing it. There's no way her daughter can possibly be the culprit in this.
So there's our second act breakup.
It's more of an extension of that because if she starts believing that, by extension, she will believe that she's doing a bad job. So if anything, she's ultimately thinking about herself.
And deflecting.
We'll actually address this.
Wow, one of these scenes where they're actually focusing on the road.
Yes, Duez, we all know about your thing with driving in movies. Let's just move on.
Well, I think he has a point, though.
Hey, Dwebs, guess what? I'm gonna drive with my eyes folded. What are you gonna do to stop me?
Not get in your car.
Remove the blindfold. That would be a good start.
Yeah, I'm not getting in the car with him.
James, according to the Transformers comics done in your country, it's actually they tend to invite children to do that. Very quickly too.
Well, I read the Transformers Armada comics. It's been a while, but I can't really remember anything like that.
The Marvel UK one.
All right. Notice how the father is going through all this with a smile on his face despite everything.
guess in his childhood he learned to face things with a smile.
You'll see. There's actually more to the father than we think for now.
It's as Pedro has said a few times before, the wife is always right, even when she isn't.
That's one of the main rules of, because trust me, trying to, what the point is.
Huh. Of course.
All right then.
The sword.
Have you, May? Move on. Come on.
I was gonna say, she's gonna turn into the panda and they behead the panda.
This is not a Fatal Frame game. Come on.
Or is it?
Yeah. So there you go, Dwibs. The mom actually had a fight with her mother as pandas over him, and Jova, I'm assuming that's where mommy got her car. Yeah.
I kind of guessed that the moment we saw the scar, and since we knew that the mom was a panda at some point too. And that is why this will eventually be a Kingdom Hearts world.
Sora turning into a red panda.
It always comes back to Kingdom Hearts with you people.
I think the best it can work is having her as a summon.
We'll see. I mean, just have a realm take place in the Astral Realm and bam, there's your reason for combat. That said, summoning could also work too.
But no, like Shiroi was trying. Sorry, but like I forgot who prompted it to me. I don't know if it was Dej. Yeah, those are the primary rules when dealing with your significant other, like in my case, the wife, right? Rule number one. I'll wait till after this.
and everyone died.
Nah, they're fine. I hope.
Huh. Well, that's unorthodox.
Yeah, she's like, you know what? Fuck your traditions.
Well, actually, yes.
No, that actually looked pretty painful, so let's not.
I'm keeping it. Uh-oh.
By the way, the gemstone's cracking, so... Oh dear.
Uh-oh.
Now, let's not do anything crazy.
Please.
Too late for that.
Y'all might want to back up a little bit.
You see, this is what happens when you keep things bottled up inside. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun.
All right, to the Photon concert.
Just a giant panda, it's fine.
Hey!
But yeah, no.
Oh my god, that girl is flying!
Yeah, again, I get the idea the director was also a fan of Ang Lee's Hulk.
Well, I will actually, when it comes to the whole jumping thing, I'm more reminded of My Neighbor Totoro, which was, as the director herself admitted, is also an inspiration, like specifically the cat bus jumping from place to place.
Oh my god, that girl is falling! Somebody catch her! Never mind, she's fine.
She's falling with style.
But she doesn't have a ticket.
That's okay, Dwebs. She's already here in the crowd. Nobody saw it.
Amazing that an entire crowd did not see that. Come on now.
Jova, it's a concert with teenage girls, and there's a boy band. The last thing they want to care about is this girl here. They want to. There's something. There's a higher priority.
I mean, it's a literal crowd and stadium.
Too late.
You still care. I never had a Tamagotchi.
Me neither. I think I might have had a Dejimon, maybe. I don't remember.
Oh, hold on. Plot twist, Tyler is also a 4-townie.
Oh my god, he's Jimmy from Ed, Edd and Eddy.
No, he's just putting an objection on him.
Oh, great.
To the sisterhoods. So there you go. Now Tyler is the honorary 5th girl of the group.
Oh my god, it's a kaiju.
Dwebs, it seems like we have reports of a kaiju running over the streets
okay.
of Toronto.
Okay. Yeah.
I never heard about.
Okay.
I never heard about that in the history lessons.
Okay, yeah, no, definitely a candidate for a Kingdom Hearts world. Like, that is just a boss fight waiting to happen.
Again, I'm more baffled by the fact that no one in the... Where is the police in this movie? I don't think we ever seen them.
The fact that the news reported on this, but the police haven't acted on this is something.
Again, between this and Ballistic, it's like the fictional Canadian police force were not very bright in 2002.
Damn, man, a while since you mentioned that movie.
see, he was even crying with them. Like, so
wait,
like I said, Tyler is the honorary 5th girl.
Wait, the Skydo? That's where they had that WrestleMania. That's where they had that WrestleMania 6 thing.
All right.
It's good, but it's no, I want it that way.
What about the NSYNC? What about the NSYNC song where they just said bye bye?
I was actually talking about Backstreet Boys.
Oh.
God damn it, Mom!
I always had it.
Use the special effects.
Oh my god, she kept the Karen hairdo. Oh my god, she's Karen-zilla!
Yes.
Oh god, run!
My god.
This goes beyond speaking with the manager.
Oh dear.
It's alright.
This is fine.
It's alright, the building is being evacuated.
Oh, notice how the dad is still. You'd think by this point the dad would crack and go nuts, but no, he's still perfectly calm. This is why me and Shiroi say that the dad is low-key the best character.
He's secretly keeping this entire family together. Like,
yeah, no,
and he ain't even in the main one.
That's the thing. Yeah, when you get right onto it, yeah, he's basically the one keeping everybody together. Actually.
You're one to talk.
Yeah, here you go.
I'm okay.
I made all the big bucks! It was all my plan!
Oh.
We helped.
Well, at least twerking wasn't a thing at this time, thank God. Because she totally would have gone there. That's good. We're making good progress here.
yeah, they're talking it out.
All right, here we go. Final boss battle, kind of. And there you go.
Literally, try.
Seriously, the dad is a fucking bastion of inner tranquility. You want to talk about inner peace? Nobody has more inner peace than this guy.
This guy has so much peace in him. He could end the war. He could end the war.
Again,
normal people versus furries.
Again, just be glad twerking wasn't a thing yet, Ming. Otherwise, you would have had to have bleached your eyes out.
Oh god, it's so cringe.
I'm defeated by the power of cringe.
My daughter is a cringe furry.
I'm surprised though. I'm surprised no one's made a meme about that. Where you just replace May with something you don't like.
I will say this: like, it says something when you manage to make a furry cringe.
Not just that, like again, like animation-wise, this is one of the most impressive Pixar sequences. I mean, look at how cool this looks.
Drama doesn't take much. Pedro was mentioning something cool. How about Cool Cat? Yeah.
Oh, Cool Cat.
Oh crap.
Funny to you. Is she
But
down?
She's kind of
okay, I think she's down.
But she's outside the circle, like Dwib said.
Oh god,
and
I just
knocked. Almost out of time.
Oh god, I just knocked out my mother. What have I done?
Yeah, and again, the father even goes to check if everybody's okay and everything.
You're strong,
go
but you're not that strong.
Get a crane or something.
No, that's okay. It's time for the we're going to solve this with the superpower of teamwork.
What?
They're gonna all come.
Oh god, don't tell me she's even bigger.
No.
She also has a scar.
I get the feeling the idea is that the mom is a particularly gifted panda.
I wonder.
Also, about what Tio said, yeah, it was implied in an earlier scene that the mother gave her that scar.
But the mother also had a scar. Did they had a cross counter like in Tekken?
I guess.
No, she got too big and went on a rampage and gave her mom a scar.
Yeah.
Think Dragon Ball, except Gohan didn't die too. Yeah, less talking, more pulling. Louder.
Well, it's starting to work.
Of course.
I love how Tyler is also there helping.
Yeah.
These guys are still here too, I guess.
They're helping.
It was implied that one of their friends managed to was going to call them to help. Scene.
There you go. Thanks to the power of teenage boy bands, we can finish this ritual.
Oh, Skybeam. I guess this is a DC movie now.
They'll never perform again after this. The trauma.
I wonder what the
Shiroi, how do you even top this particular concert, Shiroi? How do you even top this?
Okay, Shiroi, yeah. Let's give them a bit more credit. I don't think they'll be touring in Canada again.
Oh my god, she's being taken into live stream.
But Sephiroth didn't stab him.
You don't have to be stabbed to be taken into live stream.
You just need to die.
Well, that or fall in like Tifa and Cloud did that one time.
And now... Oh.
Okay, May, I think your mom's got issues. Generational trauma. Ooh. Oh. Huh, for a moment I thought that was a scar, but no, that was her eyebrow.
Well, she does have a scar near her eyebrow. Like I said, they get the idea they cross-countered each other, I guess?
I'm wondering if... hold on. That might be a scar, that might be a beauty mark, because it doesn't look, you know...
It was a vertical cut. Doesn't seem to leave much imagination, Drova.
Again, you'd be surprised. Sometimes that can be a blemish or beauty mark. I guess the weird thing is just that it doesn't seem as pronounced as her mother's does.
Well, considering how much bigger Panda Mom is... I'm guessing Grandma Panda wasn't particularly a match for Mom Panda.
Well, the implication was that the reason she got so big was because she had been, bottling up inside. But to be fair, the grandma and the aunts were too as well when they were not as big.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I guess it's a much easier process after you've already done it the first time.
That, or they're probably a lot more willing to do it, whereas May was not.
Well, they've already done it before. That's what the trinkets were for.
This whole thing is a parallel to also, you know, puberty and maturity. So I guess the idea of doing this in the more adult age is actually much easier.
Mm-hmm.
Although, also remember they smashed their trinkets as well, so... Oh yeah, no! No. Huh. Although it is still pretty bigger than hers.
I guess it might depend from person to person and their emotional spectrum. I guess that this might be the idea.
And now here's the big moment.
Yeah,
you did.
That was a bit of an oops on my part.
And I'm just gonna say this, Mom. Get help. Get therapy.
All of you, family therapy immediately.
No. Sure. Not just family therapy. She needs singular therapy, couples therapy. She needs all the therapies. Like, May is getting her stuff together. Her mom, though, after that...
The dad needs a holiday.
I don't know, Shiroi. I don't hear him complaining.
No, he's a furry, too.
I can imagine that.
He truly has issues.
I'm sorry. I think consummating might have been a little bit tough given how big she becomes. So I guess she is the first woman in ages to accept the GIF and stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
Which means now all the knowledge in the world is yours.
Yes.
Well, honestly, it's better than just assuming that nobody reported that.
Oh, I love this bit. Her panda's now in the Tamagotchi. Explain.
Just live with it. Now we can use it to make legit money.
As a tourist attraction. Again, I'm sure the Canadian government is perfectly fine with this.
Again, in a sequel when she becomes...
Don't worry about it.
You see, in a
sequel, they're a fundraiser to rebuild the Sky Dome.
Amazingly, the cops did not arrest her mother for that.
It's not even that, Joe, but like I said, call me cynical or anything, but it will be totally a government thing to do wanting to militarize this.
Especially after her mother...
My panda, my choice, Mom.
Very funny.
I like how Tyler's in the friend group now.
Yeah. Like I said, sure, he's the honorary fifth girl of the group.
So they bonded over their love of teeny bopper boys.
Town, yes.
Again, for all we know, Town are broken up because, you know, they figured, hey, it's our biggest performance and we're traumatized as all hell.
Well,
but look, she got an autograph photo with them.
And now we're in Feel the Magic, I guess.
So, is there an after-credits scene?
Yes, actually, there is. So stick around, everybody.
Dandy.
May will be invited to the Mirrorverse initiative, yes.
There actually is one, yes. But sure, like, here's a bit, and Jens Kellen was one of the executive producers, cool. But sure, it's the idea, you're a Fort Townie, I'm a Fort Townie, we should totally be friends. There you go. All right, yeah, original songs by Billie Eilish and Ludwig Göransson did the score. There you go. All right, so that was Turning Red. So does somebody want to start with their final thoughts while we wait for the after credits?
This was supposed.
Yeah, I really like this movie. It is kind of a shame that that outside circumstances kind of screwed this to be relegated to Disney Plus.
That, and again, like I said,
even though apparently the Omicron thing had calmed down by that point, although I'm guessing by that point it was too late to change their minds.
Okay. I can easily state the real reason this didn't get to theaters. Disney got cold feet on a lot of their animated stuff, thanks to the president at the time, Bob Chapek, kind of running things into the ground. He deemed that a lot of the Pixar stuff was not going to make the big bucks in theaters with the virus still at large, until he waited for Lightyear. Which didn't really work out that well either, but that's another story. Like I said,
guess what happened to Chapek later on that year?
He got the boot after just like 1 or 2 years as president of Disney. Needless to say,
maybe saying animation is just for kids probably wasn't the smartest thing to say.
Dead.
It was at that moment where everyone was like, "All right, you gotta go."
Dead.
On top of other things.
Chapek did the rare thing of pissing not only the fans and consumers off, but the stockholders, investors, and pretty much every creative staff at Disney. The stars aligned for that man's firing.
Alright,
go on this.
Yeah, enough about that guy. Okay. Again, it has been a while since I've seen it, and I've still enjoyed it pretty much. It's not my favorite Pixar movie, but it's certainly one of the more unique ones in terms of its animation style. I won't say I'll say I don't really get the Ghibli comparisons a lot of people seem to be making, but at least it's got its own merits.
Like I said, Dwibs, the thing with her jumping from rooftop to rooftop reminds me a lot of the Cat Buzz. I will say that.
It reminds me more of the Hulk thing, like Tio pointed out.
Like, to give an idea, that was early 2000 thing, and a lot of people were parodying that particular shot similar to how the Matrix parody. Fucking Jimmy Neutron parodied that.
I mean, not only that, but this pretty much is Disney's own Hulk film when you think about it. Like, person turns into giant monster when they're stressed, how overly excited or whatnot. Like, that's Hulk.
Just to finish off, all right. A lot of early 2000s ishness has kind of some of it's still stuck with me. Others haven't, so I can't really speak to the pop culture timeliness and all that, especially Canadian pop culture.
Canadian stuff tends to be very well synergized with America as well, so I do get a lot of his stuff.
Anything else I could bring up?
The music.
Or
I mean, I was never a big fan of the boy bandish music around this time. Like, I was never a big fan of NSYNC, or maybe a bit of one or two of the Backstreet Boys songs, but that's about it.
Oh, good taste. Was it that way?
I think so. Although having said the NSYNC one, the only one of theirs I really actually did kind of like was the one that kind of it was like the one song that wasn't just singing about how much they loved that girl they like, because the one where they kept singing "Bye Bye."
When it comes to mainstream musicians around this time, I was more into Eminem personally.
In that case, Twibs, I gotta show you the Ace Attorney remix of "I Want It That Way" at some point.
Oh, I think I say Ace Attorney remix of "Bye Bye."
Nah. Like I said, I'm more of a Backstreet Boys guy.
It'd be funny. Sweatbox.
Finally, a man of culture.
Let's go on.
And the actual musical score from Ludwig Göransson is fine, although I do prefer his music for the two Creed films he did. Well, as like I said earlier, it's definitely one of the more unique-looking Pixar movies, and they managed to pull off a new art style that they were only just really starting to get used to around this point.
It's a nice change of pace.
Yeah, and this is a good example of Pete Docter's new leadership initiative to try and make films that more unique to the director and their vision, not just making sequels all the time, even if they are making an Inside Out 2. Yeah, I don't recall him ever saying they're not doing sequels ever.
Well, okay. Here, to be fair, he never said we're never going to make sequels ever again. He said that at the time, back in 2018, when he first got the job, he said, right now, after Toy Story 4, we have no sequels planned. But that was back in 2018 when he said that.
Granted,
things have changed since then.
Granted, there haven't really been that many movies that
so they need to make money.
There haven't really been that many movies that released since that statement, so it does feel like it aged pretty badly. And honestly, I'm betting that a lot of those the Inside Out sequel, that I can believe was something they legit wanted to do because
Gerald, David Hayter.
Because come on, the Inside Out sequel is so dang obvious. But stuff like Toy Story 5, I wouldn't be surprised if that might be some higher-ups at Disney kind of pegging Pixar for another financial sequel, because, don't get me wrong,
I'm pretty confident that's the case, yeah.
Pixar have definitely been releasing some good movies, but for one reason or another, they haven't been making the big bucks, so I guess this is Disney's way of thinking, well, obviously, the way to make money is to bring a sequel to Toy Story 4.
There's a reason why they're making a sequel to Zootopia. Like, they have to make money.
To be fair, a sequel to Zootopia has a lot of potential. So I'm not down on that. There's a lot of stuff you can do with that world.
And also, since this film was being made around the height of the pandemic, I think animated films could get away with because some films did have the air of you're trying to hide the pandemic but not doing it very well, whereas animated films like this could get away with it more since it's all done on the computer.
What do you mean by hiding the pen? Oh, you mean like when they would shoot that stuff? In terms
of budget filming and everything.
Budget filming and all that. Like sometimes you can tell someone was just green screened into something.
Right.
All right. Anything else, Debs?
That's really about it. That's really about it. I do like this movie. Not my favorite Pixar film, but hey, it's still pretty good. Pixar University.
Honestly,
that's where they train the newcomers. Debs.
Okay.
Cute. Who's next?
Dej?
Well, I would like to say that Turning Red is a very fantastic film. It panders, or pandas, to me, because finally, early 2000s representation.
All right, youngin.
You 90s and 80s kids have gotten too good for so long.
It's been long enough in time that we can finally throw back to the 2000s.
Yes.
Congrats, Dej. It's now a sign that you are old enough, emphasis on old, to feel nostalgia for the 2000s.
Man, I'm nostalgic for the 2020.
Dedicated to our daughters, mothers, aunts, and grandmas. You're magical. All right, nice. Go on, Dej.
But yeah, this is a really good story. It has likable characters. I can, even though I'm not them, I can understand their situations because they're kids growing up, going through puberty, and it's handled well done. It's over top, beautifully animated, such a likable cast, and they were able to talk things out in the end.
Well, it did take literally having to knock down Mom, but I digress. Oh.
So that's how he keeps himself calm. He does this.
That is a foretownie as well.
That was the core experience of the movie, I guess.
Oh!
All right, carry on, Dej, I guess?
Yeah. It's a good movie. I strongly recommend people that should watch this. I hear people say that they want Disney to do something new, something original, and there you have it. It's right there. Mm-hmm. I understand that you miss the days of having a traditional villain, and I know the formula of generational trauma is starting to get old, but this is something that was handled excellently, and if we can get something on this quality more, I'm fine with the direction that Pixar will be heading.
I agree. Like, while there are a lot of trends similar to the Twist Disney villain era, this is a movie that probably handles a lot of the trends that people are getting tired of better, in a sense. I do get the feeling that, sadly, this movie may not be as well known because, well, it got the Disney Plus treatment.
No, actually it did, because it did well on Disney.
It actually did really well on Disney Plus, actually.
Oh, that's good.
The only people that seem to not be fond of this are, the cynical YouTubers.
Yeah.
Joe or Tia, you want to go next?
This was actually fine. The most interesting aspects to me were obviously the presentation, so animation, and music. You can tell about the time capsule that he wants to encompass. Any clearly showcase. You can tell that. It comes from a place of heart in terms of, talking about an age that we lived. Again, Pedro kept mentioning also parallels to Luca, because Cara Rosa was grown up in the time that it's showcased a bit in Luca. And yes, you can definitely see something akin to that. Although that makes me wonder if it's something I did, because one thing that I might repeat when I eventually get to Luca, and that I noticed while watching the movie, is that the setting that takes place there, I would argue, is a very romanticized version of what my country would have been at the time. It might have been actually possible, but the truth of the matter, unfortunately, is that my country, that still at that point, was full with a lot of cynicism and, well, not sugarcoating it that much, racism. So it feels more like instead of the place where I grew up in at the time, would be the place I wish I did grow up at the time. And I wonder if this is reflected in these too. I mentioned another comparison with Psychonauts because, without being too much spoilery, the protagonist of that game spends a lot of time mentioning how terrible his family, in particular his father, is, and this is reflected in the final dungeon, where his father manifests himself as also as a monster. But when his actual father shows up and he's like, Raz, that's his name, Rasputin, Raz, is this what you think of me? I'm not like this. I genuinely love you. And while there are some other parallels to this, it still goes to a different direction. But I do wonder if one thing they wanted to go for was, again, miscommunication, which does lead to misunderstanding, which is present just in a different way. Also, again, while obviously I don't really have much room to speak of on the matter, it's definitely nice to see a movie that panders towards a different kind of category of people that did not get enough representation over the decades, so that they can at least have a kind of a proper thing they can relate to in this kind of case. I mentioned how this is not important. It should not be important. The whole, you should not relate to a protagonist and everything, like it's in my case, in relation to this movie. But it's nice that it's an occasion that it can be present for someone. If someone can actually see themselves in this movie and take a positive lesson from it, that's actually very nice, as it is for everything. My only real gripe would be how relatively easy the bully is forgiven, because, like I said, Stephen King had a better idea how to deal with these kind of people. But I get also what the movie was trying to do. The movie needed a scene to showcase how destructive the protagonist's power could be. But I think it could have worked out without that, and just cutting to the point where the bully is revealed as a weakness for him to be a fan of the same group. It's a joke that me, Jova, Lives and Dead, Jay and Pedro saw recently in Justice League War at the beginning. One of a few moments I argue that movie at work, where a protester of Wonder Woman actually reveals under the lasso of truth that he actually cross-dresses as Diana. So, again, that type of joke could have worked well, even without the scene of May attacking the bully. Again, in general, I think it could have been reworked or cut away a bit better than what has happened. As it is, it feels like he gets away way too scot-free, at least. But again, what the movie was trying to do, so just a me thing. No, not really. It's just, again, fine. I'm not sure how much. Well, okay, I guess franchising in terms of franchising could be possible. We had an entire spiel in terms of lore about this Mother Panda. Might as well have one potentially where it's explained wherever based on the 4 Chinese beasts. You know, Suzaku, Ryu, Soryu, Genbu, and Byakko. You know. Who knows? We'll have to see. I guess I kind of sort of agree now with Jova when it comes to Kingdom Hearts representation. I guess you can potentially squeeze something out of this.
Yeah.
But the big thing, like I keep saying, is that it's not a matter of set pieces. You also need to make sure that the world would be believable to have something like having monsters in it and being especially again they managed to make it work with stuff like Toy Story, for example.
Just insert like Astral Realm Heartless, or heck, Red Panda Heartless.
Yeah.
And yeah, this also leads me to the next point. Why is the Canadian government why there's no law enforcement? Like, I get it that by the time this was made, potentially showcasing, the police was not probably the best thing that they could have done. But I don't know.
I wonder.
It really feels to me like, giant panda roaming around, which did attract the news, would have been something the government would investigate. Maybe that should be the part of the sequel.
Especially again when her mom went freaking kaiju on that stadium. Goddamn.
But whatever. Again, it's an enjoyable movie, so good stuff. Even if it's not really attached to me or what he said about the year 2000. Next.
No, I love the movie. No, I first of all, the animation. The animation is fantastic. Some of the best Pixar's ever done. That climax is just wow. Like the visuals are so good. I also really appreciate the love letter it is to early 2000s because it feels very genuine on part of the director. No, and I really like the story, the themes it tackles, and again, Dad is low-key best character, like I said, because this guy is literally the pinnacle of inner peace. How the hell this guy has met? Remember, this guy met his soon-to-be wife. She turned into a giant red panda, fought his future mother-in-law, also as a red panda, and somehow, instead of running away for dear life, he still married this woman.
He loves her so much.
Remember Shiroi. The reason he even said, according to him, the reason the mom lost control that day is because, again, the grandma wouldn't approve of their marriage. So she did it for him. So I'm guessing that's it. Wow, you did that. You fought your mother for me?
That's what I was about to mention. We only rely on what the characters actually have told us, but if we have to do the math in terms of years and everything, it might have still been a case where, due to their culture, their marriage might have been arranged in some kind of fashion, and the reason where the grandma also did not really want it was because, different families, she might have think it was too low life, and that might have caused it. But I do wonder.
That's not really the vibe I got. All that I got from that is that they met, they loved each other, and they wanted to get married, but the grandma wouldn't approve because she's strict and shit like that. I didn't really get.
She's old-fashioned.
Yeah. This is what I mean. And again, the type of culture they represent was, strictly conservative. If anything, it showcased also in this movie. So
yeah. But no, that's the thing. Sure, like I said, her turning into a panda to fight off her mother so she could stay with him, that's what got him apparently. And again, this man goes through so much ever since marrying this woman. This guy has gone through so much shit and is still going through so much shit to this day, and he does this with the calmness of a rock. Like, seriously, I have no idea what you're talking about therapy, Shiroi. I want to know who his therapist is.
She turned herself into a panda. Funniest shit I've ever seen.
Like, seriously, this guy is seeing the most incredibly stressful shit happening all around him, but he deals with this like a fucking pro, and I have no fucking clue what the hell this guy is even on. But yeah, and like I said, like he's a great supportive father and a great supportive husband. He's low key best character, but yeah. And yeah, like I said, the actors are also clearly having a lot of fun, and they do great with their characters. Again, I really appreciate the in-your-face attitude that the movie has. The movie's not afraid. This is a director who's not afraid of being herself, and wrote the movie in the way that makes sense to her. Like in her, again the same thing with Luca, where you can tell that movie. You can tell who made that movie. Like when you watch something like let's say Ratatouille, for example. I love that movie, but it doesn't scream Brad Bird movie. This movie, on the other hand, this feels like a movie that could have only been made by someone like Damishi.
I guess.
Same thing with Luca, where such an honest, loving portrayal of Italy could have only come from an Italian American who grew up in there. So, again, the personal story angle is something that I really appreciate. And like I said, nice to see these talented directors debuting with shorts finally get a chances to direct these bloody movies.
I do wonder if they were at some point going to get them one way or another.
I guess, but I don't know.
I don't know. I wasn't a fly on the wall at the time there, so
remember Luca is a 2011 short, and it took until 2021 for Luca to come out. So Enrico had to wait 10 years to finally between that short and finally his chance to make that movie.
Do we know about the developmental reasons for that? Like, was it about him maybe not having the clearest idea yet, but when the idea became clearer, then they could progress?
I mean, if there was any kind of development hell on Luca, it certainly is not public. That information, I mean.
Well, like you said, if it started in 2011 but only released like 10 years later, that does suggest that's something.
That's because Pedro misspoke. He was referring to La Luna first.
Yeah, I was talking about La Luna.
You need to mention Luca accidentally, Pedro.
Okay, in that case, my bad. What I mean is that the short that came in theaters before Brave, that was a short that is still to this day my favorite Pixar short, La Luna, which is free Italians going to the moon, as the name implies. The point is, and the point is, that's always been my favorite Pixar short. And the moment I saw it, I came out of the theaters in Brave, and my reaction was, boy, do I want the director of the short to make a movie. That was the best thing, the biggest thing I took away from watching Brave in theaters. Boy, I want the La Luna director to get a movie. Just to give you guys an idea.
I do wonder if maybe the reason he hadn't gone to that movie was either maybe A, the idea hadn't come up, B, like, he thought up the idea around more so the time that Luca came about, like, again.
I can also believe the song, not necessarily in, it has a specific term, essentially the idea that the higher-ups genuinely believed of, you need to work this much and grind your bones before you can try to do something.
Disney could potentially be like that. Like, it's a multitude of things that could have happened, and I've studied enough to know that a ton of stuff can happen in the media industry, so I am glad that they are getting their chances for whatever reason here and there.
The point that I'm trying to make is that if I was in charge over there at Pixar, after watching La Luna, my immediately first reaction was to turn to Enrico and go, congrats, you're making a movie. Because that to me is, because that to me is as best a clear sign that this guy should be making his own movie. If I've ever seen it.
I would warn against jerk reactions because, yes, a short is good, but directing a short can also be different from directing a whole movie.
I guess. That being said, he did eventually make Luca, which is my new favorite Pixar movie. So
I think my favorite is still Incredibles and Soul.
Oh, sure. I'm not. Well, Luca is a movie that is catered more to my sensibilities, so of course it's going to be my favorite. It's basically a Ghibli movie made by Pixar, basically.
I thought that's what Turning Red was.
Turning Red does have some inklings here and there, but no, Luke, in a lot of ways, like it feels very much akin to an Isao Takahata movie in a lot of ways because it's very slice of life. It takes place in a very romanticized place where it also has the coming of age angle. So no, definitely. Not to mention there's a Ghibli cat in it. So. What was I? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the point is, yeah, I actually really love this movie because it's so fun and so heartfelt. So great. Whatever Damishi makes, same thing with Enrico. Whatever Damishi makes next, I'm looking forward to it. Go on, Jova.
This is a good movie. Very good. I would not necessarily call it amazing, but I will say I would totally be for this showing up in Kingdom Hearts. So, Turning Red is a movie that, in typical Pixar fashion, works as a very good metaphor for stuff that you deal with in real life. In this case, it is about a puberty, dealing with family tradition and honoring that, but also still being your own person. Which I appreciate. One thing I do love all around is the music. Not just the songs, but the score too, with its bit of funk and jazz, especially at the start. As well as mixing in with some Asian culture music. That's good. The voice acting's good. But to be fair, it's a Pixar movie, like, they rarely ever skimp on that. The characters are all well and varied here. I do say, I feel like the first act is a bit slow to get to where things get nice into the mix, but when it does get moving, the movie is pretty entertaining here. I do like the anime-esque animation style of this movie. It's nice and unique. I do get why this may not be every Pixar fan's cup of tea, but honestly, this does address one of the issues of some of Disney and Pixar's films maybe looking a little too samey, and I feel that it does it in a good way, so I'm all for it. The concept is actually pretty interesting. It's essentially the Incredible Hulk, but dealing with puberty. Fun stuff. I will say this. I do like a lot of the ideas, but I do feel that some aren't as fleshed out as they could have been. Like, for instance, the bully. I do feel like it's nice that he eventually becomes their friend, but I do have to agree with you that I feel like it's a little too abrupt and sudden that, oh, just because he's also a fan of Four Town Boys, that means we can forgive him for everything. I guess, though, maybe it balances out because he seems to forgive May for nearly killing him. Goddamn. As for how the problem, or quote-unquote problem of turning into a panda is dealt with, it is nice to see May adapt to it and use it for real-life advantages, both in the practical and, of course, in the money sense. Like, there's no other way of putting it. Boy, did they shill out the bread panda to the kids who love it.
It's logical. If you forgot, Jova, there was a comic done in the early 2010s, I think, where a couple of kids chastised Spider-Man because he never tried to, merchandise himself in universe. And even Petey's like, oh, right.
Which is funny because technically he did with the Spider-Mobile. But the less said about the Spider-Mobile, the better. And yes, the sliding time scale. But yeah, no. Turning Red is very creative and nice with that stuff. Now, in terms of it being one of the films that does go into that trend of a Disney film not really having a villain or generational trauma or this and that, which, yes, there are a noticeable growing amount of, this is definitely one of the better ones. I do groan at some bits that I don't think are as handled the best, but for the most part it's fine. That being said, A part of me was kind of hoping that as a result of the climax, that, you know, all the women would learn to accept the red panda instead of just bottling it back up again, because I honestly thought that the
entire point of the climax is basically allowing each person to make their own choice.
Which is nice. Honestly, though, while I got the aunt and the grandma doing it, I honestly thought the mom was going to, at the very least, live with it, because, yeah, that honestly looked like she'd been keeping it bottled up for way too long, though granted, maybe she's just a mutant case. Although, speaking of which, it is incredibly cathartic to see May not only combat her mother mentally, but physically. Like, shoot, this feels like an MCU movie, and for once I mean that in a good way, in about, you know, how she is, like, going in with the moves and whatnot. Again, like I said, Kingdom Hearts world. Please, yes, thank you. It's a nice climactic fight. And again, I appreciate how even the boy band for town even helps out in the end, funnily enough. Showing how the old traditional stuff with the new funky modern beat work together. The generations coming in harmony. So yeah, no, again, it's not the best movie, but it's a very fun movie. I get why it may not be everyone's cup of tea, but I'm just gonna say this. Turning Red deserved way better treatment than what it got. And granted, it was highly viewed on Disney+. It has incredibly high critical reception. A ton of praise. Again, though, I do hope that it's not judged based off of the fact that it didn't make the most money. I literally just learned today that apparently it had a box office, which means that it had a limited theatrical release. That said, I'm willing to believe that Disney at least knew that probably wasn't going to make as much money with the release they gave it. But yeah, no, it's...
Luca went straight to Disney Plus as well, and that movie got a sequel short. So I think there's just as much hope for something regarding this as much.
I mean, sequel shorts, they're sequel shorts. They're not exactly big gambles, but honestly, I'll admit, I would not mind a sequel to this movie, honestly.
Alright.
So like I said, it's not amazing or anything. Definitely not the best Pixar film, but it is definitely a nice, genuine, and creative experience, and honestly, if this movie does signal a good new era of Pixar where they really can have a great bout of variety while keeping the quality, well, I'm all for it then. Yeah. Again, I would have liked to have seen it be maybe about more of them accepting it here. Like, again, the grandma and the aunts, I get them choosing that, but I did find it weird that the mother did also revert as well, because if anything, I felt like her keeping the beast bottled is kind of what led to this. But hey, you know...
it did showcase also that the moment the stone cracked, she immediately gave in. So maybe that's also her fear that she feels weak and not able to control them properly.
Honestly, I feel like there's some interesting story potential into looking into why she turns flipping kaiju-sized, whereas everyone else may get big, but Jesus, not that big.
Maybe it's to do with the emotion level.
I wonder.
Yeah,
that's what me and Tio theorized. It's just, oddly enough, despite the others keeping their stuff bottled in as much, they didn't become as bad, so...
Yeah. But they also seem a lot calmer compared to the mother, because as we've seen the mother throughout the movie, she's always on edge.
That is true.
Always.
Whereas May,
thankfully... What the
thankfully...
movie is trying to also say is that if May did not... do anything, she would have also became like her, and as such, even her bestial transformation would have become like that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, yeah. Alright then, but yeah, no, that was a fun movie. Shiroi, cap us off.
Right. Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I've seen it a few times by this point. Yes, I do feel the 2000s nostalgia because I was born in the early 90s, but because, you know, I was a very small child, the 90s isn't exactly an era I remember all that much. So the 2000s was the one I really grew up with, I guess you could say. So yes, I appreciate that now we have reached the point where we can pander to people like me.
Oh, here we go, Shiroi.
I thought you were a 90s baby like me.
Oh, I was, but again, like 93, so I was like a very small child throughout the 90s.
It depends with each of us. Some
True,
of us
I was
don't
smaller
have that
many
memories or, you know, experiences.
For me, it's
a lot of my early. Oh, sorry.
No, go on.
A lot of my earliest memories come from the early 2000s.
It's weird. Despite me being born later than you in 1995, I have my fair share of memory of stuff that happened in the 90s.
It depends from person to person.
Yeah.
True.
All right. Yes, Pedro?
Well, it's for me, it's like I was born in 1987. So obviously I was too late to be an 80s kid. However, the interesting thing is that I grew up in the 90s consuming a lot of 90s media, but since Portuguese TV networks at the time loved airing shit from the 80s, 50s, 70s, and all up and down and all around that shit, I consumed medias from multiple different decades. So I absorbed a lot of shit when I was a kid.
I got my fair share as well, thanks to a ton of home media that my parents got.
Most of us did for one reason or another. Maybe not on your same level, Pedro, but like I said, thanks to my grandparents having VHSs and my grandpa, you know, being equivalent of a pirate, I did experience even movies from the 50s onward.
It helped that a lot of channels would air movies from all over the time. Like, remember, Cartoon Network showed off Batman 1989 once.
I do have memories of a fair amount of media from the 90s, but aside from that, my memories from then are very hazy.
Sure. Oh, here it is, by the way, Shiroi. According to Damishi, the anime is inspired by Sailor Moon, Ranma 1.5, Fruits Basket, and Inuyasha. And to capture these anime influences, all the stuff like the eyes, those were 2D animated effects that were put on top. And she also said that she was inspired by my neighbor Totoro. Here we go. Obviously. In creating an iconic, grabbable giant animal that you want to rub your face in. Which makes sense. also Nintendo games such as Earthbound, Pokemon, and The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, she also compared. Oh, and you'll like this, Jova. She also compared the plot of the film to a Goofy movie in a similar coming-of-age movie involving a parent and a child trying to mend their relationship. So there you go. Yeah,
yes.
That's basically it.
Yeah, I see it.
No,
that's cool. And again, the Ace Attorney fan art.
Yes.
That we've seen.
I know why that didn't make it into the movie, but it's such a shame.
I'm guessing like copyright.
Copyright, yes.
And yeah.
You know,
but it was nice to see it in behind the scenes. It's very cute art. Like
until Disney buys Capcom, I guess.
I guess when that happens, then they can do it, and then Ace Attorney can be a Kingdom Hearts world.
Yeah, you mentioned the food, Shiroi. Here it goes. For rendering the foods, they were inspired by the approach that Studio Ghibli has done.
Yeah, there we go. There it is.
There you go.
Look at this food. The music I also really like because pop music has always like generally been my thing, and though I was mostly the girl group fan, I also liked a fair number of boy band songs from that era because you have like Westlife, NSYNC as well, Blue, so that kind of thing. So yeah, no, I do enjoy the soundtrack for this movie. Even the score, the general movie score with the traditional instruments is also fun. I also appreciate the particular, I guess, fandom culture that's on full heckin' display here. Yeah, it's also nice to see teenage girls just not being like
prim and
proper. I don't want to say because I didn't want to say prude, that's not the right word, but like prim and proper. It's nice to see like just teenage girls as I knew my fellow teenage girls growing up, like just messy and loud. But So yeah, I do appreciate this movie for that, and its handling of puberty in a very interesting way. We were all actually furries in our teens. Some of us stay that way. Yeah, even though it might be getting old to some people, I feel like this is a topic that, depending on the person, can be portrayed differently. Because I do appreciate this. This current trend of different Disney directors airing out their generational trauma and telling their parents to wise up in the nicest way I could put it. Again, it's something that, depending on who's doing it, like, it can manifest differently in the media.
My take on it is that, like with the twist villain era, they're not all bad. Some are done better than others.
I feel like Disney's done a pretty good job with most of them. And honestly, like, I kind of get what you guys mean about, you know, the government and the authorities being, you know, all over this Red Panda stuff. But I also don't want that, because that's not what this movie's about. Like, it would completely distract from the actual topics of this movie, you know, from what we've seen. So I feel like it's just, save that for a different set of characters and whatever. Not this. I feel like this is fine as it is. And yay, that was Bao and Turning Red,
aka Dami Shi's entire filmography.
So what you're telling me, Shiroi, you liked this movie?
Yes, I do.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Happy
Sorry,
birthday.
did I not? Thank you. Sorry, did I not say it enough? I like this movie. I like this movie. I like this movie.
Yeah, I want to say that you love this movie.
Oh, I love this movie. I love this movie. I love this movie. I love this movie.
Good.
But yes, thank you.
All right, I guess tune in for whatever Pixar movie we do next. Who knows? Like, it depends on whether me or Teo picks Luca. Whoever decides to pick it first. It depends on.
Well, one of you pick it.
I wish Italians were real.
I'm not better, and it's for the better.
You're real to me, damn it.